Hello and welcome back to Women's Football Talk, the YouTube channel that brings you all the latest news and stories from around the world of women's football. Now make sure you don't forget to subscribe and turn on the post notification bell so you never miss a video of ours. And what a frantic weekend it was in the WSL. Goals galore across all of the games this weekend and upsets as well. So let's jump straight into it, and we'll start off with the evening kickoff between Leicester City and Arsenal from the King Power Stadium. And what a first half it was for Leicester as well. Sam Tierney and Janice Cayman scoring two goals within 2 minutes of each other just before the half to put Leicester City 2-0 up at the break, and it had everyone questioning what was going wrong with Jonas Sardeval's side and could Leicester pull off a massive shock victory. It was such a disgruntled Arsenal performance, and it was just a shock to see how poorly Arsenal were doing, but then credit to Leicester, you could just see how Willie Kirk had his side set up and they looked like they were ready to take Arsenal all guns blazing for that first half. However, in the second half, things changed. I don't know what Jonas Sardeval said at half time, but it came right away for Arsenal, scoring 3 goals within the opening 10 to 12 minutes of the second half. Chloe Lacasse getting on the score sheet first, then Alessia Russo, Caitlin Ford, and then Victoria Palova getting on the score sheet just after the hour mark, who had a phenomenal game, probably her best game since joining Arsenal last season. And yeah, at that point Arsenal 4-2 up with half an hour to go. You're thinking, okay, this should be easy for them. They get 2 more goals. Stina Blackstenius and Lena Hurtig getting the goals. Victoria Palova assisting both of them. So a fantastic comeback result from Arsenal. They showed the resilience, showed the hunger to get back into the game, and they managed to do so by scoring the 6 goals and ended up winning 6-2. So that result sees Arsenal up into second place after 6 games. Elsewhere in the WSL, Manchester City lost 1-0 to Brighton and Hove Albion. A goal in the 81st minute from Lee Gwyn-Min gives Melissa Phillips' side a shocking victory up on Manchester and ends Manchester City's fantastic home run, where they were 21 games unbeaten at home and have now lost that run. Credit to Brighton, took it to them the whole way, made it difficult for Manchester City to really challenge Sophie Bagley, who again had another superb game in goal for the Seagulls, absolutely just showing why she is such a highly rated keeper and how Brighton were able to get her in the summer. Obviously it wasn't to be for Khadija Shaw. She went off after just over an hour, and then some of the other substitutions, you saw Jill Roord go off, Yuli Blackstead go off. Gareth Taylor's side were trying to find of something, but it didn't happen for them. And then Lee Gwyn-Min, who came on just after the hour mark, managed to get the sole goal to give Brighton a very important victory. That result, though, for Manchester City and results elsewhere sees Gareth Taylor's side slip down into 6th place on 10 points, whilst that win for Brighton moves them up to 8th place on 7 points. We'll run through the rest of the table shortly. Elsewhere, Manchester United beats West Ham United by 5-0. Another fantastic run out from Mark Skinner's side. 5 goals, 5 different scorers. JC Ferreira with the first, and Millie Turner and Nikita Paris with 2 goals as well just before half time to put Man United 3-0 up at the break. And then 2 late goals from Lucia Garcia and Melvin Millard helped United to a 5-0 victory, and that sees them up in again, moving up in the table. So a good couple of weeks for Manchester United. Obviously they got that draw last time out against Brighton and Hove Albion 2-2, but now they're past the game before that against Everton, managing to score 5, and then this weekend scoring 5 against West Ham. Mark Skinner's side are starting to look very deadly going forward. Speaking of a team who continue to look deadly, Chelsea, they managed to beat Everton by 3-0. Jessie Fleming getting the first after just a quarter of an hour, and then a goal in the second half from Sam Kerr and one in the 90th minute from Aggie Beaver-Jones gave Chelsea a 3-0 win and sees the Blues remain top of the table heading into their Champions League clash later on this week. So big win for Emma Hayes' side. Obviously that was their first game following the news that she is set to leave the club at the end of the season. And for Everton, they have now still only scored 3 goals after 6 games. It is starting to be a bit of a worry for the Toffees. And the final 2 games, we saw Tottenham and Liverpool play out a 1-1. Celine Bizet scored the opener for Tottenham, a beautiful solo run through this middle of the park, and then she was able to shoot it past Rachel Laws in goal for Liverpool to put Spurs 1-0 up. And then Sophie Roman had drew Liverpool level just after the hour mark, and I think that was a very fair result. Both sides had their chances, and I think it was a very, very fair result. The only bit of worry for both teams was for Liverpool, they lost to Mia Enderby just before half time due to a injury, which looks like a knee injury. As of time of recording, we don't have the full extent of that. And then in stoppage time, Tottenham lost Olga Artinen as well to a leg injury. Again, like that, we don't know the full extent of that. But for them, on the positive side, on injuries, for the first time in 13 months, Ellie Brazil was able to get back onto the pitch, and was fantastic to see her there. And then finally, Aston Villa have finally picked up their first win of the season. They beat Bristol City by 2-0. Second half goals. First, it's gone down as an own goal from Megan Connolly, and then Ebony Salmon with the second goal coming on just after 65 minutes or so. Really helped change the way for Aston Villa, because it looked like it was going to be a long afternoon for Carla Ward's side. Weren't able to grab a point, but they managed to do so, and instead they walk away with all 3 points. So good for Aston Villa to get their first 3 points of the season, and have now moved above Bristol City in terms of the table. So a quick run through of the WSL table. We have Chelsea at the top on 16 points, then Arsenal on 13, Manchester United on 12, Tottenham and Liverpool both on 11 points, Man City on 10, Leicester and Brighton on 7, West Ham and Everton on 4, and then Aston Villa and Bristol City both on 3 points respectively. So a busy weekend in the WSL and plenty of goals as well. This weekend saw the NWSL final take place between OL Reign and Gotham FC, and it was Gotham FC that ran out 2-1 winners in the end. Goals from Lynn Williams and Esther Gonzalez in the first half, either side of a Rose Lavelle goal for OL Reign, saw Gotham lift their first ever NWSL title, which is massive congratulations and fantastic for them, considering last season they were bottom of the table. Sad news for OL Reign was that within the first couple of minutes, Megan Rapinoe had to go off due to a foot injury, which is apparently a torn Achilles. So that's obviously a sad way for her career to end. But congratulations to Gotham FC. Midge Purse getting the assist for both games and getting the MVP for that game as well. She was absolutely fantastic. And carnage right until the end, where we saw Mandy Hort sent off for Gotham, but they had all used all their substitutions up. So yeah, Neely Martin had to go in goal for Gotham FC, but wasn't needed too much, and Gotham ended up winning 2-1. So congratulations to them. Congratulations also to Hammarby, who won the Damallsvenskan in Sweden for the first time in 38 years after a fantastic final day. So plenty of football taking place over the weekend, and we have the Champions League returning tomorrow and on Wednesday. So make sure you're following us on Twitter and on Instagram for all the latest news and stories from around the world of women's football. And in the meantime, we'll see you soon.